What's up, YouTube? Doomwake here. We're back with another modern video. As you can see, today we have quite a bit of a spicy one. Before we continue, as always, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button right below the video. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Also, be sure to check out the sponsors of the YouTube channel, Mana Traders and Coalesce Apparel. I will drop links for those below the stream. With that, this is what we have in front of us. So you might ask, what the heck are we doing today, Doomwake? Well, I found this deck from the top 8 of the most recent Modern Challenge this past Saturday. I'm recording this on Sunday, so that was yesterday. And there have been various... let me see if I can find the card. Hold on one second here. There have been various iterations on decks involving this card in the past, a card called Polymorph. 4 mana, destroy a target creature, reveal its controller, flips cards from the top of their deck until they hit a creature, put that card into play, everything else on the bottom. And there have been iterations on that before. They've put Emrakul the Aeon's Torn into play, where it's, you're essentially, your deck is just a lot of removal spells, put an Emrakul into play, attack them, profit. This deck has a similar feel to it. It's not playing the actual card Polymorph, but it is playing Polymorph's cousin, if you will, Indomitable Creativity. So this one has X red, 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 but we all kind of know it. Well, what? Where did my Jace go? What just happened? Hold on. Technical difficulties. I was not prepared for this. I was not prepared. My Jace just disappeared. Anyways, Indomitable Creativity is X red, red, red. Destroy X target creatures, artifacts, and or creatures. So you essentially, the goal is to do this for 1. So, you destroy either an artifact or a creature of your own, not theirs. Well, you can target theirs if you're in a tight spot, but I don't know if that would come up that often. And same thing as Polymorph. Flip, for each permanent that was destroyed, you flip cards to the top of your deck until you hit a creature or an artifact to put that card into play. And the only creature / artifact that is in our deck is Velomachus Lorehold. Not sure if I said that right. Let me know in the comments if I did. It's like Velomachus, I think, or something like that. So this is the thing that we're always going to hit off of Creativity, and this says whenever it's 5/5 Flying Vigilance Haste. Whenever it attacks, you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to its power without paying its mana cost, but the rest in the bottom. So step 1, Creativity. How we are casting Creativity is off of Dwarven Mind, which generates a 1/1 dwarf when it comes into play if you have 3 other mountains, and we're generating an artifact with Prismari Command, creating a treasure. So step 1, get one of those 2 into play, either a 1/1 or a treasure. Step 2, cast Creativity, put Lorehold into play. Okay, now what are we doing when we get this guy into play? So it's a 5/5 haste again, so you can attack the same turn that you cast the Creativity. When you attack with it, you look at the top 7, and the goal is to cast one of these 2 cards, which both have similar effects. Take an extra turn. Time Walk, as the boomers call it. But yeah, Time Walk is take an extra turn. This one just says take an extra turn, period, that's it. This one is take an extra turn, skip the untap step. Conveniently, Lorehold has Vigilance, so even though you're skipping your untap step, you still get to attack with Lorehold the turn after. So the main goal is to put Lorehold into play, attack, take an extra turn, take your turn, attack, take an extra turn, rinse, repeat. And then just, attack them until a 5/5 is enough to finish the job. Now, the rest of our deck that's not part of this... I should put this over here and this over here. The rest of our deck that's not part of this, which is the combo aspect, is ramp and defensive measures. So Lightning Bolt as the premium red 1 mana removal spell. Remand, another just tempo card that's... the reason that Remand is so good in combo decks is compared to something like Mana Leak or Logic Knot, as far as 2-mana spells is concerned. The combo decks don't generally care if the card actually gets countered. It's just buying you the time to get to your combo. That's all that matters. So the fact that Remand cycles and also buys you that turn that you need, it's more than good enough. And then we also have Growth Spiral to ramp us up to 4 mana, so we can cast this on turn 3. We have Wrenn and 6, which is especially nice in this deck for a couple of reasons. So, the aforementioned Dwarven Mine, excuse me, not Mire. There is a bit of a steep deck building cost to put something like this into your deck because you need all mountains in order for this to work. You need 3 mountains into play this as your 4th land. So the best way to achieve that is playing a whole mess of fetch lands, which, as you can see, we have a lot of fetch lands here to facilitate having enough mountains for Dwarven Mire. Also, it's nice because the fetch lands can find the Mire, or mine at instant speed, which comes up if you have Teferi, but basically, yeah, a lot of fetch lands to facilitate Dwarven Mire to make sure... I keep calling it Dwarven Mire. Dwarven Mine, to make sure we have enough mountains to be able to get a 1-1 out of it. And Red and 6, really good with a bunch of fetch lands. The other thing that comes up is if your plan A doesn't work, which is put the 5/5 into play, attack them until they die. Like, for example, if they have Path to Exile or they counter your Indomitable Creativity, you can get Ren and 6 up to 7, Ultimate Ren and 6, so it gives you an emblem that lets you cast spells from your graveyard, and you can just take infinite turns with Time Warp. So that's a cool plan B. And then we have some Teferis to stop our opponent from interacting with our combo when we decide to go for it on our turn. And then we also have a Jace, which is nice because it's just, obviously, Jace, a very powerful card. Digs you a lot towards your combo pieces, can help, unsummon, bounce some things to buy you a turn against that kind of stuff. And obviously, when you're taking an extra turn with the Jace in play, very powerful. Nice thing about Jace is in the Heliod matchup, taking an extra turn with a 5/5 in play, if they're at 10 million life, you're not going to get the job done with a 5/5. So when you're taking an extra turn with a Jace in play, you can just keep taking up Jace, eventually deck them. So that's mainly there for the Heliod matchup, I would assume. And then the rest of our deck, again, we've gone over everything here. The mana base, again, a lot of mountains to facilitate Dwarven Mine. A basic island, which I have to assume is for Blood Moon decks, which is kind of suspect, because just naturally drawing the island in the first couple turns of the game when you have Dwarven Mine can be really awkward. So I'm not 100% sold on that. But yeah, that's the main deck. And then as far as the sideboard is concerned, we have Aether Gust for Prowess and Blood Moon decks, because as you can see, Blood Moon is very, very good against us. We have Mystical Dispute and Veil of Summer for the control matchups. We have Ceremonious Rejection for Tron, Eldrazi Tron, anything with Karn. We have some additional removal spells with Fry, Magmatic Sinkhole, and Flame Slash. Fry especially good because it can kill Teferi Time Raveler, which Teferi Time Raveler very good against this deck in particular because it shuts off Lorehold's attack trigger because you can't cast spells when you're in combat. And then we have an Emrakul in our sideboard. I'm not 100% sure outside of the mill matchup where I would want this. I have to imagine there might be scenarios where if your opponent has a lot of Path to Exiles, maybe you sideboard in the Emrakul and sideboard out the Loreholds, but I'm not 100% positive on that. Hopefully we can maybe play a matchup where that happens and we maybe want to bring in the Emrakul. So yeah, with that said, that is the deck, and looks pretty sweet. I'm ready to get to battle, so I will see you in just a little bit for round number 1. Alright, YouTube, we're back here for round number 1. What do we have here? We have a turn 1 Ketria Triome, turn 2 Stomping Ground, Growth Spiral, put in Dwarven Mines. This is essentially a turn 3 Creativity. I mean, we don't have a lot of interaction, but I think this hand is still okay. This hand just kind of does the thing on turn 3, so I don't think you're supposed to mulligan this. We'll see, though. Could be Storm, could be... Is it Prowess? Okay, well, now we can create a treasure token on turn 3 and kill the treasure token on turn 4 if they are playing Prowess, because, again, as I stated in the intro, this making a 1/1, it's kind of hard to cast this on a 1/1, against an opponent who has open red mana, because they could have Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, Gut Shot, anything like that, so. But not having any interaction kind of stinks. So because we're going off with this instead of If you guys were going off with Artifact instead of 1/1, we can actually afford to play the island here. And then just Growth Spiral. It's possible I'm supposed to Growth Spiral on my turn in case I hit Bolt, because there's a chance I want to shock this in and Bolt this. Okay, that's fine. I feel like we're probably just going to get run over. But, again, not really much we could have done. Another Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I should Growth Spiral now, and I should have done it before this trigger in case I hit Bolt. Didn't hit Bolt anyways. Alright, so let's put the Dwarven Mine into play. Go to 7. I don't think they have growth, because I believe they probably would have cast it. Let's main phase, shock the Swift Spear, make a treasure. 2 damage, make a treasure. Play this tapped. Alright, well, if they don't have another Lightning Bolt, which they definitely could, because they used all their mana last turn. Alright, that's a good start for me. Okay, I can beat a Soulscar Mage. Can't beat that. Well, we were pretty close to winning this game. If they didn't draw 3 Lightning Bolts, I think we could have won, but... them's the breaks. Alright, is it Prowess? 4 Aether Gust. Kindly get in my deck. I could consider Mystical Dispute. I definitely want Flame Slash. I definitely want Sinkhole. This kills Storming Entity and Sprite Dragon. I'm not sure that that's enough targets, though. We definitely don't need the Jace. I don't mind keeping into Fairy. I think Wrenn and 6 is actually kind of... well, so is Remand. These cards are both pretty bad in this matchup. This is 57 right now, so I have to bring in 3 more cards. Unless there's anything else I want to keep. I want to cut. I want to keep all the Time Walks. I basically want to keep all of the, like, the combo pieces. Because I think that's our best shot in the matchup. Remand is okay against Stormwing Entity, but it's not really good against most of their other cards. Maybe Wrenn and 6 is okay on the play. I don't want a ton of them, but I think this is okay. And I mean, they know what's going on because we showed them a Dwarven Mine, so it's not like there's anything to hide. Okay. Sand's not great, but I think on 6 we probably have to keep it. And I think I'm going to get Temur Triome on turn 1 just so I take less damage. And then Steam Vents Growth Spiral on 2, hopefully hit some land drops. Alright, Temur Triome. Ketria, I should say. Basic Mountain Growth Spiral. Drawing the land's nice, though, because we obviously want to hit our land drops, and if they play a creature this turn, we can Growth Spiral into Mountain, into Bolt, so... wow, they're doing nothing. I think I like these types of games. They're countering the Growth Spiral. Deal. Eh. Not that our hand's very good, but I think I'm much happier with them counting a Growth Spiral than a Time Warp or a combo piece. So I think I'm going to let this go and then try and bolt it. And if they have Mutagenic Growth, then I'll just gust it. See if they want to cast a spell before damage. Which they do. I was going to say, actually, if they cast Mutagenic Growth, I'll probably just gust the Growth. I'm not going to gust the Bolt, though. I'll just take 3, who cares. I could Time Walk, but I'm skipping the untap step. It's basically just a cycler at that point. I do kind of need to hit my land drops. I think I'm just casting it. I really just want to hit my land drops. Alright, well, drew a Prismari command. 3 mana sorcery speed cycler, not the best. Okay. They made 2 red, which is interesting, because now they can't count. Well, I guess they had blue mana anyways, but... Should I command now? I do want to loot. I'm going to wait and see if they play a creature, because there's a chance I might want to, like, maybe if they play a creature, maybe shock make a treasure, or shock loot. I'm not sure, but I want to get a little bit more information. Again, missing a land drop here kind of sucks, and that's why I would consider main phasing it to try and handle land drop, but... I wonder if they just kept a hand with 1 creature. Alright, so now let's go loot and make a treasure. Let's discard... As much as I said that I wanted to hit my land drops, now that I have a treasure, I think I can afford to discard 1 land. I discard the Gust as well. I think I'd rather keep the Sinkhole. It kills more things. Gust can't interact with Storming Entity. If I cast this Time Warp, it's likely just going to get Spell Pierced or something. Is that okay for me? The problem with that is then I lose the treasure, and if I draw Creativity the turn after, I then can't cast it. I think I'm going to wait a little bit. That was the reason to keep the land, because I just want to tap 5 lands for Time Warp to keep the treasure in play, but I think this is okay. Alright, they're not doing anything. They have 7 cards in their hand, and they're just passing. I'm going to get the White Triumph in case I draw Teferi. I could get a 1/1 here, but I don't need the token to be able to go off the Creativity because I already have the treasure. And if I get a 1/1, they're just going to Lava Dart or Bolt it anyways, so... Hoping to draw Indomitable Creativity. I mean, even a land again is fine. Just want to hardcast Time Warp without sacking the treasure. Yep, it's Time Warp. I don't really care if they counter this. It's just a 5-mana Explore. Alright, let's do it again. Not doing anything. I'm not doing anything else with these Time Warps. I'm gonna hang on to that in case I want to loot it away. Just gonna pass. What on earth is in their hand? Okay. I was thinking maybe Mystical Dispute, but now they can't dispute a Creativity. Very strange. So let's go draw 2. Draw 2, target player creates a treasure. Just trying to find a Creativity. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4... I actually kind of want to keep the land too, so I can pay for Spell Pierce. The question is, do I want to target both to play around a Braid? Do I think they brought in a Braid? Maybe. 2, 3, 4, 5... Well, actually, I still get to play around a Braid and Spell Pierce. Because if I tap Creativity for 5, right? So I go X equals 2, target both treasures. If they have Spell Pierce, I sack one of the treasures in the land. It's still targeting the other treasure, and now they can't abrade the other treasure. So if they have Pierce, I just sack one. You know what I mean? So let's do that. I believe this works. So this plays around a Braid and Spell Pierce. They might just have Vapor Snag, so I guess this is worse if they have Vapor Snag, but... Ooh, they don't have Vapor Snag. We got to attack with Lorehold. And we also did not hit a Time Walk. They're at 19. Growth Spiral or Bolt? I think I'll just Growth Spiral. I mean, we're down 3 Time Walks anyway, so not hitting a Growth Spiral is not... Or not hitting a Time Walk is... okay. Did they just forget to cast it? I'm confused. So they just chose not to cast it before attacks? Maybe they forgot? Alright. Interesting. I don't really know what happened there. They must have messed up. Maybe we can just get there with this red emblem. Just going to keep plussing this red a bunch of times. Let's make some more 1/1s, shall we? Bring the beat downs. We've turned in the Dwarf Tribal. Green, red. Plus, skip back another mine. Do I want to savor here? Does get the Ren up faster. I think that's okay. Mostly just doing it so I can keep putting additional loyalty on my Ren. They've had enough. Okay. That was a weird game. They let me attack with the Lorehold once. I don't think it actually mattered because I bricked on Time Walk anyways, but it's just a weird game. Now is the extra difficult part where we have to win a game on the draw. That being said, I don't really think any of these cards are that much better on the draw. I think Remand is even worse on the draw if you're talking about compared to Run and 6. So I guess we're just going to run it back. Not much else to do here. Alright, turn 1 Triome. Turn 2 tap land Flame Slash. If we draw a fetch land, this hand is actually pretty good. I think I'm going to try it. We can even Flame Slash on turn 1 if we want. It's probably higher upside if we draw a fetch land, because then we just get to curve Flame Slash into red and 6. A third Saver, probably not a good draw. Let's see if they have Mutagenic Growth. They don't. Sprite Dragon. Oh boy, give me a land. Untapped land, please. It's not an untapped land, but it is an unconditional answer to the Sprite Dragon, so it's not that bad. So even if the Sprite Dragon grows out of hand, we can just gust it a turn or two down the road, but I have a feeling we're just not going to have that kind of time. Gut shotting me, which leads me to believe that they have Light Up the Stage, which looks like they do, or Stormwing. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. That is gonna be tough. I think this matchup is just really bad. All of our cards are slow. You know, I mean, obviously, I kept a hand with a pile of savor the moments, but I'm just gonna bolt this thing now while they're tapped out. I mean, obviously they could have a Phyrexian made a spell, but we know they didn't have growth on turn 1, and they just used the gut shot there. Missing land drop is pretty bad, obviously. Okay. Take 3, potentially more if they have a bolt here. Alright, they're choosing to just go with 3, which means they probably have Spell Pierce. Or they're just casting Light Up the Stage. It sucks because now I can't run minus on the Sprite Dragon. I really don't know what my out is. I think I don't have an out. Okay, definitely don't now. Well, that was kind of an unfortunate match. I think, like I said, I think it's a really bad matchup just as is on the surface. I'm not even quite sure how we won game 2. I think our opponent just kept a really bad hand game 2. But yeah, I mean, when their hand is even remotely functional, it just, doesn't really seem like we don't have a lot of or cheap removal spells like you see Esper that has, Fatal Push, Path to Exile, and all these unconditional 1-mana removal spells. We basically just have Lightning Bolt, and sometimes that's not even good enough because they have Phyrexian mana spells. So, rough matchup overall. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the content, round number 1, and I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 2. YouTube, we're back here for round number 2. What do we have going on here? So we have Scalding Tarn that can get Ketria Triome, turn 2, Growth Spiral, put Dwarven Mine into play. Sand is not bad. We need to hit land drops. Sand kind of needs to find land and creativity. I think it's still okay, though. Playing against the Tron Menace. Unclear whether or not this is a good matchup. Well, they're playing a Chalice. I don't really care about that. So this is Eldrazi Tron, which I have to imagine is probably a better matchup for us. Alright, let's just play Steam Vents, pass, hold up Growth Spiral. Blast Zode. Matter Reshaper, that is fine. Excuse me. So, what are we doing next turn? I think I'm just gonna run in 6 next turn. I'm just trying to think if I want to put the Foothills into play, fetch a Triome, play the Dwarven Mine, put a 1-1 into play. The problem with that line is it leaves the 1-1 vulnerable to removal on their turn, whereas if I just put the Dwarven Mine into play, play the Foothills, not expose the 1-1 on their turn, that might make them play a little bit differently. I guess I could also just cast Prismari Command this turn. I think in any case I'm just going to put the Dwarven Mine into play. Because even if I draw creativity, I can still just fetch a mine, creativity, do that kind of stuff. Do I care about the Chalice? Not really. Because I could, kill the Matter Reshaper, kill the map. But I don't even think I care too much about this. I don't really think I care about any of these, to be honest with you. I think what I might do is just play a tap land and hold up Prismari Command. See what they do. Maybe just end step, make a treasure and loot. Because they have a Thought-Knot Seer here, most likely. I'm going to let that go. They might take the Time Warp. I'm just trying to find a creativity here. Possible I was supposed to play Ren last turn. I could see that. But I kind of want to just, cycle through my deck a little bit. Try and find the creativity. They took the Time Warp. Made sense. Alright, let's go ahead and... I'm thinking about blowing up the map and looting, because if I draw creativity, I have Dwarven Mine here anyways. I just don't know that I care that much about the map. I'm just gonna make a treasure. Draw 2, treasure. Okay. Awkward. Let's discard. Probably don't need this mine. I'm just gonna discard 2 lands. Awkward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Could play the Red Insects just to maybe distract them for a turn. I don't particularly care if they kill it. Could also cycle this Triome. Maybe. Alright, pass. It's also kind of awkward that we're down 3 Time Warps, because our creativity might be a lot worse. Karn, the Great Creator. Sure, that's fine. They may get Grafdigger's Cage to shut off creativity, but if they do that, I can just go end step, destroy the cage, and loot. Oh, they also can't play cage because of the Chalice. What am I saying? Well... Interesting. Grafdigger's Cage is put on the stack. They're ignoring Ren, which makes sense. Because I only have 1 more turn. Let's get... Might as well just get the mine now. Guess I could have got the mine to chump block the Thought Knots here. Maybe I should have done that. Draw 2. I think I'm still looting. Well then. Discard these 2. Why did I know I was going to draw that? Oh, that's hilarious. I would have been able to cast it if they didn't have Karn. Or if I had just shot the Karn last turn. If I dealt 2 damage to the Karn and made a treasure, I could have pinged the Karn and I would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still would have been a mana short, I guess. Yeah, I guess I just messed this game up. Is there anything I can do? 4, 5, 6. Guess I can get a fetch land. Let's get a Dwarven Mine. Make a token. What if I attack Karn for 1? Savor. Attack Karn for 1, cast Savor, tapping these 3 lands. I would have 3 lands untapped. If I draw creativity, I could cast it, because then I could plus the Ren, get back an untapped land, play land creativity. I guess that's good. I think. I should have cycled the... Oh, no, I couldn't have cycled the Triumph because of not getting an untapped step. Okay, so now I can go ping Karn, attack Karn. I can't do that and leave back a blocker. So I guess what I'm doing is just pinging Karn so they can't downtick. Playing out this land, having a blocker back. Okay, we figured it out. Okay. Because now we have 7 mana to hardcast Lorehold. So if a brick here, I guess any removal spell kills us. Yeah, I think I messed this game up pretty bad. I think I could have easily won this game. All right, we died. Okay, sideboarding against Eldrazi Tron. Rejection is very good. Flame Slash can tag their Eldrazi's, so can Sinkhole. I think everything else is kind of bad. What is bad against them? Not much is bad against them. And Remand could be not great because they have Cavernous Souls, but it is good against Karn the Great Creator. How good is Red and 6 against them? I don't want to cut all my Red and 6s. I guess I could just cut Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's actually not very good, right? Because it doesn't kill any of their creatures. It's okay against Karn, but if they also just randomly decide to keep in Chalice, then cutting Bolt is... Like, Chalice just doesn't do anything against me at that point, so... Alright, turn 1 Triumph, turn 2 Remand, turn 3 Prismari Command. I like this hand. I think this hand is especially good. This deck's pretty hard to play. A lot of sequencing decisions. And I think that last game is one I could have definitely won. Blast Zone, Relic. Interesting they brought in Relic. I'm not going to play the island for Dwarven Mine purposes, because again, I just want all mountains in the first couple turns. I'm just not going to sack my land, actually. I kind of want to still hold up Remand. Warping Whale, make a 1/1. That is fine, unless they have exactly Cavern of Souls. Because if they sack the 1/1 to Thought-Knots here, then I'll just slam this Remand. Yeah, this is very, very good for me. Let's get Steam Vents, I guess. Alright, land's gone. I was actually going to fetch for that one. It shouldn't matter too much, because I can just get the Dwarven Mine off of this. So let's go red, green. Actually, hold on. They're on 3 cards. What if I just blow up this Relic now? Could play Island, blow up the Relic, make a Treasure, sack Treasure, play red and 6, get back Mire. They play Thought-Knots here, take Sinkhole. I think that's actually good. So, make a Treasure, destroy target artifacts. Actually, let's play my island first. Treasure, artifacts. Then we go green, red, get back fetch. I think this worked out the best. Again, it kind of stinks because now they get the Thought-Knots through the Sinkhole. But if they do that, then maybe I can just Time Warp with a red in play, which also isn't bad. But now they're basically forced to take the Sinkhole. I like this exchange. Alright, let's just get Dwarven Mine. Might as well get this into play while we can. Because we're going to want to do it at some point anyways. And let's do the Time Warp. Okay. I could kill the Thought-Knots here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this. 2 damage, draw 2, discard 2. 2 damage, draw 2, discard 2. Discard some fetch lands. Play a Wrenn, keep this. Ping this. That's pretty good too. Because then we get to hold that up if they have a Smasher or a Karn or anything like that. This is going well. One mana. If they cast... Okay, I was going to say. That I will definitely counter. Not today. Okay. Let's start by cycling this, because we can still find the thing. Let's put this into our hand, so I can just cycle it. Oh, excuse me. So I can Growth Spiral, put the Mire into play, fetch the Mire, and also cycle this. Tron has been assembled. Do they have anything to do with it? Looks like no. Found the creativity. The nice thing about creativity is you can cast it for X equals 3. So even if they have a removal spell, do it for 2. I do kind of want to keep one of them into play. So I'll just do it for X equals 2. So this way, if they have a Dismember, they kill one of these, the other one still happens. But again, if they have Dismember, they're just going to kill the 5/5 anyways. So, still kind of sucks if they have Dismember, but looks like they don't. Any Time Walks? Nope, no Time Walks. Choose not to cast those. I just choose not to cycle this. I guess I messed up. Get back a fetch. Play fetch. Pass. I should have cycled this end of turn. I think I just forgot to. Are they sacking Scavenger Grounds? Are they going to try and take the Blossom up to 7? No, they're killing the Red and 6. Which is strange because they have the Scavenger Grounds. I feel like they would rather just tick the Blast Zone up to 7 and use the Scavenger Grounds to answer the Wren. Oh, they have that. Okay. Yeah, I don't really think that they really want to Blast Zone on 2. That is fine. Does make the Wren a little less potent, but this is gonna suck if they find Dismember for this, because we don't really have much left going on after that. I guess I'll cast the Growth Spiral in case I hit a Remand or a Rejection. That works too, because now I can just cycle the Triome. Chalice X equals 1. That is fine. Alright, let's get the last Dwarven Mine and just the basics so I don't have to take any damage. Cycle this thing. We can get back the Triome, keep cycling this, try and find more gas. That should be good enough. Yeah, that is definitely good enough. Because now they're just dead. They take 5 and we get 2 extra turns. Alright. Game 3. Game 3. Do I want to change anything? No, I don't think so. They showed us Chalice, so I definitely don't want to keep in Bolts. Also, I just think Bolt is probably our worst card. Just trying to move this around a little bit. No, that's not it. Make it smaller, probably. Yeah, that's good. Alright. Turn 2, Wren and 6. Flame Slash for Thought-Knot Seer. Savor the Moment, not the very best in our opening hand, but I think this hand's still okay. Opponent stays on 6. Let's get Jeskai Triome. Just in case we draw Teferi. Kind of feels like a Natty Tron hand to me. If I had to wager a guess, what's better against Natty Tron, Growth Spiral or Ren and 6? Honestly, it's probably better to just Growth Spiral here. I think that might set us up the best. Like, if we play Ren and 6 and they do something ridiculously powerful this turn, our Ren's just not... It's just not competing with what they're doing on 7 mana. I'm going to Growth Spiral now in case I hit Rejection. That would have been nice to have in my hand. So now they can get Cage, which sucks. I guess they could also just get the Coding, because they can Coding a land. Oh. That is an aggressive play. They could have just played Coding to shut me off of a land this turn, which would have guaranteed that I can't cast Creativity, but they're just opening themselves up to Creativity, which I don't think they were supposed to do. Well, let's see if we can punish them. Definitely not. We know they have a Coding. Can remand the Coding and maybe hope to hit another counterspell. Like a Rejection. Even a Growth Spiral would actually not be that bad. Obviously, we could hit the Creativity too. I'm just going to pass. You'll be able to just YOLO go for a Sundering Titan. I can't imagine that's going to happen, but... yeah, I'm gonna fetch a Mire or Dwarven Mine first, just to thin a little bit, and I'm just gonna remand this. Tempo, just try and find another counterspell. Did not. Okay, you have a Coding. Well, if they don't get Cage, we can still, even if they Coding a land in our upkeep. Yeah, this is whatever. Why they didn't go after the untapped Lusaurus? Well, they probably have a removal spell. Not that we can afford to play around it if we draw it. A turn too late. A turn too late. Is there anything we can do here? Not really. Good. Ren and 6, hold up 2 lands to cast Rejection. Yeah, I mean, that still could potentially let us do the thing next turn as long as we draw the Creativity. Because even if they blow up this land, we still have Rejection up. So we can counter whatever they do this turn. And we're still going to have 4 mana next turn. I could float a mana, I'm just lazy. I don't know if this is bait, but can't really let anything resolve this turn. Alright, Creativity, please. Sheesh. I guess we maybe have one more draw step. Now I can get back to Cycle Land. Because they conveniently destroyed those for me. Thanks, opponents. Your turn. Now I'm going to float a mana because I want to cycle the Triome. And I could cycle Triumph into Rejection to potentially counter a spell they have this turn. Really, really unfortunate game. We've gone through almost a third of our deck and haven't drawn a creativity yet. And I think our opponent messed this game up pretty badly. I don't think that they were supposed to cast this the turn that they did. Like, imagine this. They also just cast this on the turn that they played Karn when they got coding, because when they could have prevented me from playing the creativity, and then they just didn't even attack with this for 3 turns in a row. So it's just like, I don't understand what they were doing. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. They didn't blow up my land either, which now lets me cast Time Warp. I'm so confused. Okay. I don't know what's happening. And they got Spyglass. I guess they're going to name Red in 6. That's what their plan was. But now I can just cycle the Triumph and cast Time Warp, so... Sure. This is fine. Down with this. I guess I should have maybe cycled the Triumph in response to this to potentially hit the rejection. They have another Karn. So now they're going to get the cage. Okay, let's see if we can hit the rejection. Did not. So now they minus for the cage. Oh, they plus in the land, sure. Okay. Still lets me cast creativity if I draw it. Please? Man. My opponent gave me so many opportunities to win this game. Okay, so I can blow up the spot. No, actually, I can blow this up. Oh, the Karn's still kind of an issue, though. I mean, I think the way that I win this game is them just keep upticking this and giving me opportunities to draw towards the thing. So, that being said, I think I'm going to blow this up and loot now. Draw 2, discard, destroy target artifacts. Discard, savor the moment, and I guess a land. Get back a fetch land so I can get another Dwarven Mine. Pass. We've had so many looks at the thing. What are they getting now? They got a Pithing Needle. They were really concerned with this Ren in 6. So they're going to let me cast Time Warp? Is that what's happening? I'm down with that. Sure. It's not even that bad for me, because again, still drawing towards a creativity. Just get a Dwarven Mine. Alright, please. One time, punish our opponent. Sure. We know they have Needle in their hand. Alright, what do they hit? Eldrazi Temple, sure. Let's just go to 3. I can't really play around much now anyways. I'll just put this in the play tapped. Alright, well, our opponent tried to give us this game, at least, but our deck just did not cooperate. That was really, really unfortunate. Okay, they're going after my land still. For some unknown reason. Why wouldn't they just get Sundering Titan? I'm so confused. Relic of Progenitus, okay. Do I even have any green lands left in my deck to cast this Ren? Or do they blow them all up? Triome, Stomping. I actually don't think I can cast the Ren in 6 anymore. I think I have no more green sources. Which is hilarious. Well, they're going to let me cast Time Warp. I'm okay with that. Two Time Warps. I mean, the most awkward part about this is I assume, given how long this game has gone, I have to imagine they have a way to interact with the combo, you know. They have to have a Dismember or a Warping Whale or something along those lines. I mean, kind of can't afford... Well... Oh, you know what? This might have been worse if they have exactly Warping Whale. Well, no, because if I creativity first instead of time warping, I can creativity X equals 2 because I can get another Dwarven Mine to play around a single removal spell. But if they have exactly Warping Whale, they just counter the creativity anyways. And I think that in the scenario where they have creativity, or in the scenario where they have Warping Whale to counter a sorcery, I think there's a chance where they counter this brick and then I just, you know, kind of do the thing next turn. Whereas if they counter this, I'm almost 100% out. I'm 100% locked. I think. But Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Funnily enough, we can actually still beat that. Okay, that resolves. If I win this game... Oh my goodness. If I win this game... Oh, and now I have to draw land, because they're going to blow up my land. Well, if I draw land, it also can't be a shock. So I have to draw a fetch land to get basic mountain. Is that it? So I'm going to get the mine here. What are my outs? The 4th Dwarven Mine, Mountain, Mire, Tarn, 2 Foothills. It's a reasonable number of outs. Oh my goodness. I'm ready. Do you believe, YouTube? I believe. Again, I should have had... What's going on with the green screen? It's weird. I need to fix that. Does not like when I move, apparently. Alright. What do we have? A 6-outer, I think? One-time dealer. Alright, we died. I mean, that being said... That game probably should not have even been close from the turn 3. Our opponent did give us a lot of opportunities to win that game, which we probably shouldn't have had. But that being said, if our opponent had played correctly, there probably would have been no chance we would have won that game. So, yeah, very, very unfortunate game. Our opponent gave us a lot of opportunities there. We couldn't capitalize. Unfortunate. Sweet match nonetheless. That was a long one, though. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. YouTube, back here for round number 3 after that wild ride of round number 2. We're on the play. Let's see if we can turn the ship around. We're not turning any ship around with this hand, let me tell you. Tef, bolt. Keep, put back second Tef. Probably going to get burned for having basic island in my deck. I'm going to play this so I can get the Rogran Triome. Basic Forest. Amulet of Vigor. Okay. Let's get Rogran Triome. That's not a bad one. I'm actually going to play this untapped. If they play Dryad of the Elysian Grove, I think I'm just going to go double bolt the like if they go bounce land, Dryad, replay bounce land. I think I would probably consider double bolting the Dryad, untapping command, kill the Vigor. Looks like they're not playing Dryad. They still might, but I don't think there's reason to cast a bolt here. I think I'd rather just discard the bolts. So I'm gonna blow this up and loot. I guess I'll just do it now. Draw 2, discard 2, destroy target artifacts. I don't think these bolts are doing too much for us, so I'm happy to discard them. Yeah, I should just discard both of them. I don't really think they're doing much. And this can give us a treasure if we find the Indomitable Creativity. We might just not have that kind of time, though, depending on what their hand is like. I don't think we can get Titan next turn unless they have second Amulet, bounce land. Yeah. So they didn't have the bounce land last turn. No green mana. Alright. I think we're just going to do the same thing as last turn. Loot, blow up the amulet. This may or may not be good enough. If they have an untapped land, they can Titan us next turn with the castle, but without the amulet in play, it's likely we're not going to die. Interesting. I think this Tef is no good, and we can't cast the Spiral, so let's ship that. Play Steam Vents this turn so we can get a token off the mine next turn if we do draw the creativity. If we brick, we can cast Time Warp and go again. Again, I don't think we care too much about a Titan this turn, but obviously next turn, things are going to get worse for us. Probably dead next turn. Because I imagine they can set up something where they can just find the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, attack, put a bunch of Pelicates into play. So, we probably are dead if we let them attack. So let's not do that. Let's see if we can finally do what this deck is supposed to do. Well, it's not going to be this turn. It's Time Warp. Okay. I guess we'll just keep Time Warping. Okay. We did the thing. Now the question is, are we even going to kill them? Maybe. Down 2 Time Warps, though, so maybe not. So we only have 5 Time Walks left. We're also not untapping, which is kind of rough at this exact spot. Okay, there's another one. So they take 5. Again, we're not untapping again. Now we bricked. Now we bricked. I don't think it's going to let me cast this. Yeah. I mean, did I mess up? Maybe I was supposed to cast the creativity for 2 and kill their Titan and hope they just don't hit on their Titan. Yeah, that might have been better. Because now I'm just almost 100% dead, right? Because they have a T-West in their hand. Maybe they don't have a blue source? They just have the Dryad. Yeah. Yeah, good beats. This is why I was not a fan of this deck to begin with. I tried a couple earlier iterations of this deck, and the same thing happened. Every time I would put this into play and do the thing, I would just, like, attack them twice and then just brick off. So I think that what I'm coming to the conclusion of is this deck is actually not very good. Which is unfortunate, because it's a lot of fun. Gust is Gucci. I don't really want anything else. This doesn't touch Titan. This doesn't touch Titan. So it's just Gust, and I think I'm going to cut Bolt, because it doesn't really kill anything. Alright, let's see if we can actually do the thing for once. Well, I say for once. We did the thing that game, and it wasn't even good enough. This hand's bad. This hand only has one land. I'm not going to keep it. The more I look at hands from this deck and like the way they play out, I'm wondering how this person top 8'd the challenge with this deck. They must have just got a bunch of good matchups. Alright, keep this and ship these two, I think. Keep the command in case we want to blow up an amulet. I mean, this hand kind of does the thing. Is the thing good enough? I'll stay tuned to find out, I guess. I'm guessing it's probably not going to be. Your move. I actually think I was supposed to play Tarn that turn. Well, it's actually not going to matter. Because even if I don't have a Mire on turn 4, as long as I have land 4, I can still just Creativity the treasure. Like, I can blow up their amulet, make a treasure, and I can just Creativity that away. We're going on a field trip. Basic Conjuration. Look at the top 6, reveal a creature, put in your hand, rest on the bottom, gain 3. Okay. Okay. Well, we may or may not get to do the thing this game. Still unclear. Well, we're gonna cast Creativity next turn. Whether it resolves or not is yet to be determined, and whether it actually wins the game is also yet to be determined. Okay. Alright. Well, they have no interaction. I guess they could have Pact of Negation. Red. Let's get... It's got to be a blue source. I'm actually just not going to cast the command, I think. And I think I'm just going to get a Dwarven Mine with this and kill the 1/1, because they may have brought in Force of Vigor, so I don't want to target Creativity on my treasure token. I'd rather just target a Dwarven token. So let's get green in case I draw Ren. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Thankfully we have 2 of those, so we cannot whiff. Alright. Is it going to be good enough? Unclear. Oh, they had Pact. Well, I'm sad. Very sad. I mean, it means I don't get Titan this turn, but... still very sad. And I also don't have double blue, so I can't cast Time Warp. Can hard cast my 7/7 next turn, my 5/5 next turn. Right, if I draw land, can go make a treasure loot. Summoner's Pact. That's unfortunate. These O3s are actually kind of really annoying, because the best way for me to win is just attack with this a bunch of times, and they just have 2 jump blockers. So that's actually pretty annoying. If I treasure loot, I could hit Gust. So I'm going to do that. Because I want to do that anyways. Did not hit. So this can get Sacred Foundry, and I can just hardcast... or I can just keep the mine. But I kind of want to get a second blue source. But I have to keep a land either way. So let's just keep those. And I want to get a second blue source into play so that if I just naturally draw Time Warp the turn after I attack with the Lorehold, then I could just hardcast it, because this is going to be gone. This is going to make white mana. Okay. It's a lot of blockers. That is a lot of blockers. I wanted to get Steam Vents anyways, so let's just do that. Alright, Hardcast coming in. Battle. Attack. Do I take an extra turn? Oh, this deck is hysterically bad. Man, I just don't see it. I really don't. the what, fourth time we've attacked with this? It's just, I think we've lost every game that we've attacked with it, which is just, there's no way this deck is good. Again, it's sad because I want this deck to be good, and I've tried a couple different versions of it, but it's just the same stuff every time. I don't think I need to play out the rest of this league to know this deck is bad. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a nice, learning experience. We'll call it that. The learning experience is don't play this deck. But in any case, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.